you everybody for joining me live here for Barefoot TV and podcast show. I am so excited to be doing this for the first time live onto my Facebook page. So we had a few little technical hiccups with getting that happening. So I appreciate you all sticking with me and sticking around to join us tonight. And what I want to do is say welcome. Barefoot TV and podcast show is a monthly program where I provide you, together with my guests, with wisdom for the journey, clarity on your path, and support to manifest your dreams. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Leanne, the Barefoot Medium. I'm an international medium, twin flame, transformational coach, and author. I'm incredibly blessed and honoured, as is Michael, who I'll introduce you to in a minute, to act as the bridge between you and your loved ones who've passed over, and to be able to pass on their messages of support, peace, forgiveness, joy, and love, or anything else that they might want to share. I'm also really passionate about bringing together my spiritual gifts with 20 years or more experience in senior management, teaching, education, mentoring, to support and empower people to transform their lives and manifest their dreams through my transformational coaching programs. What I'd like to ask you all to do is kick off your shoes and allow my guest and I to help you connect with your intuition, connect with spirit and your authentic self, transform your stories and patterns holding you back, and inspire you to consciously manifest the life of your dreams. So welcome to this month's episode, and I am joined by my amazing friend all the way from Spain tonight, Michael Ivers, to discuss mediumship, life and positivity. Michael is, hey, Michael is a psychic medium from London who is now living in Spain and travels the world demonstrating and teaching mediumship to others. So Michael and I are both very passionate about mediumship and teaching others to step into that gift. Michael loves to help his students be unique, learn to like and love themselves, at the same time as building their confidence and creating free flow in their mediumship connections, which I absolutely love, and we'll talk more about that. He's passionate about seeing his students fly, taking their mediumship to a whole new level and allowing their true gift to flourish. So welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Good evening to Australia and good morning to Spain. I'm on my fourth coffee, so.
And, you know, without going into it in too much detail, you guys are obviously in full lockdown over there still?
Yeah, we're in full lockdown. I think this is just going past our fourth week. It's quite strict here. You're not allowed out at all.
No.
So it's not been easy, but you know, everyone's the same, man. You know, it's just about getting through it and getting to the other side. So
yeah, beautiful. And for those of you who are joining us and are commenting, thank you so much. We do have a slight delay, but we will talk to you as we go through as well. So thanks for joining us from lockdown, and we're in partial lockdown here in Australia as well.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect opportunity to connect through these beautiful live videos.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and so can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Michael?
Yeah, my name's obviously Michael Ivers. I'm from London. I've been studying and developing my mediumship for many years now. I was very aware of a child. My mother and my sister were very much involved and joining churches I was a very young age, around about 5 or 6. I was always around the movement, always aware. And I always knew at the back of my mind that I would be involved with mediumship, or, you know, obviously I didn't really understand what a medium was at that young age, but I always knew. And as I got older, it grew and I knew what it was. And I went into my development early and I got put on the platform pretty early also, which wasn't really the best idea. I thought it was at the time, but you know, it wasn't. It's been a roller coaster, but it's been an amazing journey for me. Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing journey.
And for those that are watching or listening, when Michael talks about being put on the platform, that means doing mediumship in that beautiful public setting,
Yes.
where we're standing in front of an audience. And Michael and I were fortunate enough to connect when I flew over to the UK to study my mediumship and develop more through Arthur Findlay College. And so it'd be a good 7-ish years since I've met you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking that this morning, you know, I was thinking, God, how long ago was it? Because I'm not too sure whether that was my first time at the college. I'm sure it was.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. If I remember, I think we was it Colin Bates's class? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was the first time, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, thank you for sharing a little bit about your background. And
Yeah, there's more, but I want to see where you want to take it. And so,
yeah, we're just going to have a conversation and see where Spirit wants to take us,
right.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
And, you know, passionate about mediumship, passionate about connecting into people's passed over loved ones. Talk to me a little bit about how your mediumship works and how you became so passionate about doing that.
Well, if I give you a little insight, I started my mediumship and was going to the college, etc. And I was feeling very frustrated, and I couldn't work out why. Because I've spent a lot of time in circle development, a lot of time at the college, which the college was great for me. I met some fantastic people, etc. But I always felt frustrated and somewhat restricted. And, you know, I'm only talking about my personal experience, you know, something good for other people, some good, some not for others.
Yeah.
So the way I was kind of taught, I felt like I was restricted.
Okay. So talk to me a bit more about that. How did you feel you were restricted?
Well, this is what it is, yeah. When you're taught or told to get a link, find out what they're passed of, a memory, and then a message, you become trained like that. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're putting your thoughts out to the spirit world that you want it in that order. Yeah. And you restrict yourself so much. And it took me a long time to work out why I felt so frustrated and I was getting resentful at mediumship, etc. And then so what I did then is I thought, well, no, do you know what? I'm just going to open up to the spirit world. I know I've got to be respectful of the clients and we know all the basic stuff. Yeah. So I'm just going to open up. And if it doesn't come in that order, then so be it. Because if they want to get through to you and tell you something, but you're like, well, no, I've got to know how you passed a memory. They might not want to tell me how they've passed straight away or at all. They might not want to give me a memory straight away. Yeah. You know, so now since I've put that into place, my mediumship's on a totally different level. And this is the way I try and teach now as well. Yeah. Not restrict yourself. You know,
and I love that because there's two aspects to it. So for those of you who don't really understand how mediumship works, from my perspective, it's about throwing your energy back or up or however you want to describe that or however that works for you, and asking a loved one to step forward and connect to the person in the physical world that you're doing a sitting or a reading for. Yeah. And so like each and every one of us, your loved ones in spirit have different personalities, different backgrounds, different ways of being in the world. Some are cheeky, some are fun, some are a little bit boring, a little bit strict, and, you know, all of that stuff, right? And that's part of bringing through their personality and part of bringing through the essence of who they are. You know, and we both have a passion for that connection and being able to bring that healing through to the sitters and all of that. And we're both respectful and so incredibly honored to be able to do that for people. What happens in amongst that teaching side, and I often do the same thing with my students, is go, okay, look, if you need a little bit of a process to get yourself started and to get yourself some confidence with throwing your energy back and connecting into someone and having them step forward, then ask for certain things and spirit will help you to get that. And then as you learn and grow, you open up and you go, you know what, just bring me whatever.
Exactly.
Because you can be flexible with it, right?
Yeah, totally. I agree with you. You know, to start off with, you just said it perfectly, really. I couldn't have said it any better. And then, you know, as you move on a little bit, then you can just open up and let that flow just be, you know, and you're not sending up your thoughts to the spirit world that you need this information, that information, and then you're missing a whole lot of information. So yeah, you put it perfectly. So yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's great.
And I was just having a look at some of the comments on the live feed here, and Kylie Stanton, I want to acknowledge you in particular. You've mentioned that you've been looking for a link to someone in spirit for quite some time now, and I just want to say to those of you who are listening, you never know what spirit will have Michael and I do tonight. So please stay tuned as we get through some of the conversation and wisdom that we want to share. And I know there's another one of my past students who's on the live as well and saying that she's getting some really good insights from what we're already discussing. So it's fantastic. Thank you for bringing up that flexibility in amongst, you know, feeling restricted, because we have to work our own way, right?
100%. 100%. And this is why also I find it so important to teach the students to be unique. Because, you know, what you find a lot of the time now is a lot of the students want to be like the tutor.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if you're seeing loads of little clones. And that's not me being disrespectful. No. But again, that's why it's so important when you're teaching to really spend time individually around the classroom, whatever as well, and encourage them for their character and let that bloom and find your own way. Because then again, all you're doing is you're freeing up your mediumship. It's all about not restricting it. The more you be yourself and not someone else, the more you not restrict your information, the more you're going to feel comfortable about your mediumship, and it's not so awkward and you're not going to get frustrated. And it's just...
And you know, what's popping to mind is one of my current coaching clients who we're working on mediumship with. And when she first came to me, she's done quite a bit of study elsewhere. And she was so frustrated with her mediumship and why can't I do this and why can't I do that? And I get all these names, but they're never quite right. And I'm like, well, you know, are you really attached to getting someone's name? And so we've been working on, let's just put the name aside for a minute. And I said to her a while back, who did you see working that really loved working with names? Because some mediums are fantastic at bringing through names and that type of evidence.
Exactly.
I'm not great with names in the physical world. So, you know, they're not going to give me names that much.
I have to hear a name probably several times before I'll give it over.
And that's my rule as well, that I say to spirit, I have to clearly hear it before I'll give a name. Because for those of you listening and watching, if we connected to one of your loved ones and we gave the wrong name, you would immediately be out and going, oh, not my loved one, right?
And it's the same as this. You could be so caught up in the name situation that you could get the name right and then all the information wrong. So I try to not worry too much about names.
Yeah.
You know, I believe the sitter is more interested in information about the person that's coming through,
Yeah.
and the love. And if a name pops up, that's fine. But there's proof there way beyond the name.
Yeah.
So I try to teach the same as you. Don't worry too much about the names, etc. You know,
Yeah.
because again, you're just restricting your mind.
Yeah. And it's amazing what interesting little tidbits and information does come through sometimes that you're like, what? I don't even understand what this even means, right? And so for those of you who are new to how mediumship works, or even those of you who are developing mediums or wanting to grow more, you know, just open your mind, open your awareness up and go and ask spirit what they'd like you to work on at the moment. You know, for me, visions and getting images wasn't a big thing for me. And I got really pushed last time I went to Arthur Finlay because the tutor I was with was all about images and vision. And I'm like, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, when I get a vision, I can clearly describe it and I can see it.
It's also important not to analyze what you get.
Yeah. So give me a tip about how not to do that.
Well, this is what, before I would get some information from the spirit world, and I'll be trying to work it out in my mind. And, you know, again, this is all stuff you learn along your journey, and we all go through it.
Yeah.
So I would analyze it and, but, you know, don't worry about it. Just say it. Just say, I mean, I've done a demonstration not too long ago, and I had this gentleman's mum with me, and she was showing me that he was going up to the hospital to visit her. And then she was like, well, then he come up to the hospital to visit me and he broke his leg and was in the same hospital. And I was like, I wasn't questioning it, but I was thinking, you know, like you start to think, God, if I get this wrong, because even it don't matter how developed you are, you still have these moments of, you know, and I said it and it was correct. And then once you get that clarity, then your next link, your power just goes up and up and up. So trust. Yeah. And if you get it the wrong way round, just go back and work it out.
Yeah.
Don't be too hard on yourself, you know.
And that's, I think, one of the sticking points, isn't it? That, you know, as mediums or even developing mediums, we want so much to bring through that beautiful connection and for people to be able to feel that their loved one is with them.
Exactly.
And that in its own right puts a lot of pressure on the connection and having to get it right. And you will make mistakes and you will deliver the information sometimes a little bit the incorrect way. And I've had to go back a few times and go, hang on, that was a no. And I feel like it's right. So where have I confused something here? So, you know, and I think what's really important for everyone to know, it's like a normal conversation and a normal relationship, right?
It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. And I think, you know, when you get to that stage of your mediumship where you really trust, and like you just brought up there, you get a no, but you know it's right. So you just need to go back and find out and put it back into place.
Yeah.
And you do that. And you know, that's what happens. But when you get to that point of you absolutely trust and believe, again, it's all part of the journey, but when you get to this point, it's great. It really is great, and you know,
and sometimes you've got to trust the information and know that the person may not know that in that very moment, and it might the confirmation might come later, it might never come as the medium, and you've just got to trust that you've given it.
And a message.
Absolutely. And one of the examples that spirit always pops back in for me when I talk about that is I was doing a platform, so a platform event where I was doing messages for a group. And I went to a lady and I had her dad who'd not long past and brought through lots of evidence. And then he popped a jewelry box in my hand. And as I looked at it, and remember I said I don't see visions that often, and when I do, I know it. Yeah. And so I saw this jewelry box, and it had written on the top, I saw the jewelry box and I heard the words, "It's a gift." So I said to her, "It's a gift. It's a gift." And she went, "No, it wasn't a gift." And I went, I trust my evidence. I went back to him and I said, "Well, she's saying it's not a gift." And he went, "No, it's a gift." And I just put my hands on my hips and went, "Well, he's saying it was." The next day, I got an email from her and she said, "Oh my God, I went home and had a look at this jewelry box. And on the top, written on it, was the words, 'It's a gift.'"
There you go.
Right? And so that's something that you cannot consciously bring through, right? And so you've got to trust it.
You've got to trust it. You've got to trust it. You've got to trust it and not going off pathways now. Just quickly, I just want to just say the importance of sitting with the spirit world.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give this out to my students so much. I sit every night with the spirit world. And this is all I do. I just close my eyes and I ask them to come close to me, blend with me, fill me with spiritual knowledge, help me become the best medium I can to help people out there. And then I just sit. And I sit every night. And again, this makes your mediumship just come up along. I just wanted to get that in, for people that are listening. It's so important. Commitment.
And it is. It's about three things. Commitment, because you're actually, if you turn up, spirit will turn up.
Exactly.
And if you're committed to your own development by simply sitting and being open to receive, and that's really what it is being open to receive their energy, their insights, their awareness, their power to propel you forward in whatever ways that you need. And that may be personally as well as spiritually, right?
100%.
And we'll bring that aspect in a second, because it's really important. Mediumship and our personal development go hand in hand.
I'm a true believer in that.
Yeah. And so, commitment is first, being open and receptive, and patience.
Patience is a massive, massive, massive factor in mediumship. We all want so fast. And I used to be one of them people, but enjoy the journey. Yeah. Enjoy the journey. It's a continuous journey. Yeah. Enjoy it. As long as you're out there helping people, then you've succeeded.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And we are going to go on in a second and talk about life and positivity as it connects to mediumship. There's something that I want to share with someone who might be watching live or later, because I did feel like I had spirit come in earlier, and you probably did too.
A little bit.
And I wanted to acknowledge that there's a young male in spirit that wants to come through. Yeah, you've got the same link, haven't you? So I think what we'll do is a double link to the spirit world. And so I've got a young gentleman that wants to come through, or I don't know whether we'd use the word gentleman, but we'll bring him through anyway. A bit of a larrikin, a bit fun, a bit playful, a bit of a joker. And I'm hearing all this kind of rap or heavy metal music. Okay, so if there's someone online that has a male youngish, bit fun, bit cheeky, bit playful, bit, of a joker who loved heavy metal music or that real grungy kind of music, then please pop your hands up and just let us know. And Michael, if you want to do anything else in amongst that,
Sure, 100%. While I was sitting here the same as yourself, you know, I could keep feeling a younger gentleman around me. And I know that I see a gentleman with dark hair, and I know that the gentleman I have with me, quite clearly I can see he's come off a motorbike, but it's as if I've hit my forehead. So to me, it feels like I'm not wearing protective headwear, or my front of my helmet is very much open, and I've crashed my head. I know that I've got dark hair. I know I'm not overly tall, but I'm quite stocky. I look young, so I look like around between 20 to 30 in between now. I know we said about names as well, but I know that there would have been a Stephen connected to this man as well. I know that he had dark hair, and I know that he shows me a leather jacket. Now, I know a lot of motorbike people wear leather jackets, but I think the leather jacket wouldn't have just been part of riding a motorcycle. He would have worn a leather jacket also. I know that his sister is very important to him also. So if anyone can start to understand any of that.
And I'll just keep an eye on the comments. Kylie says, not my boy then if he came off a bike. It may be two separate with similar energies, guys. So Kylie, you're saying my boy rap ? Does that mean yes or no? So Kylie, can I get you to say yes or no to the young gentleman, cheeky, fun, playful, jokester, liked kind of that heavy rap kind of music? Say yes or no to that for me. And if there's anyone else on the call live that's got the young gentleman that Michael brought through with the coming off the motorbike, then please pop your hand up and say yes, so that we can keep an eye on that and connect you. Okay. Kylie's saying it's not her boy off the bike. No, I don't feel like that was hers. So we'll just kind of keep those links there until we get some of those comments through. There we go. Renee says, my friend's nephew, did he die off quad bike? Not sure, sweetheart. Kylie says yes, but not related to the bike. Okay, so Kylie, I feel like I've got you. And I want Renee. Renee's saying, did he come off a quad bike? Do you know if it was just a motorbike? Not sure.
It could be quad, or I don't know, but I know it's bike.
Yeah. So
not car.
Renee, if you can say yes or no to a Stephen connection, young gentleman, darkish hair, stocky, came off a bike. Sister's quite important. And the sister may well be online.
Maybe, or someone that's close with the sister. But I know that they would have been quite a similar age as well, not far apart. So I know that they were close. Yeah.
Yes, but not related to a bike. Kylie said that. We've got that. Okay, so Kylie, I want to just jump in on that, and Michael, I'll let you know if Renee comes in. Kylie, I want to say, was there drugs related in that? And I'm being really mindful of how I bring that through. Was there some mental health issues? I feel like I'm going up and down. I'm sometimes happy, sometimes not. I'm not in balance. So Kylie, and I feel like I've got your son, and I feel like I'm saying I'm your son, Mum. I'm here. And he feels like he's saying to me, and I've got Leanne that's just come on. Hey, Leanne, beautiful girl. Not sure if I'm catching this live, but I lost a brother-in-law, died from a dirt bike accident. Okay, sweetheart, I feel like I've got tingles for that. So I'm going to get Michael to go to you, Leanne, in a minute. Okay. So Kylie, I've got your son with me. Very clear, very talkative, very jovial is what I want to say. I feel like I want to talk about my throat area, and this area of my body is really important to acknowledge, and I feel like I don't want to go into detail about that. Okay. And Kylie, I want to talk about you for a minute, because he's a little bit concerned about your health, because he's talking to me about you being dehydrated and needing to really look after yourself a little bit more. It feels like you've let yourself go. And he's also saying, Mum, have fun. Mum, have fun. It's almost like I want to say, let go. He's okay. He's safe. He's fine. He's not in any pain or any any hurt anymore. Okay. And he's sorry for the pain he caused when he left this world, because I feel like I want to take responsibility for how I left. Okay, so Kylie, I want to acknowledge that, and I want to pass that on for you. If you can just let me know if that sits for you. And I'm just going to flick over to Michael for a minute. Rianne's come through and said, yes, she's got someone who's passed from a motorbike. Rianne, do you mind letting me know if they're connected to someone named Stephen for Michael? And I'll get you to go back there. That's okay. We've got life going on in the background, guys.
Yeah. I've got 2 sausage dogs in there making a lot of noise.
So Michael, do you want to pick up on that connection? I feel like...
Yeah, that's fine. So obviously I can't see, is it Rianne? I can't see Rianne's comments coming up, so you'll have to go in between for us. So obviously I've got the male with the bike, and I see him, and he's got dark hair to me as well. And I know he's at a younger age. I feel like he's in between 20 to 30, in between that slot to me, okay? Also, I know that he talks about having a sister that he was very close to, and also feel like in age as well. So can she take any of that?
I think she can take the... She's not taking the Stephen part that she knows of, and that's okay. So Rianne, if you can, yes, 24, she's saying.
Yeah.
So does all the other information apart from the names fit, Rianne?
The sister would have to be important, so that if I'm with her, then this gentleman has a sister that he was close with, or there was a close age, not too far of a gap.
Okay, so Rianne, if you can just say yes or no. We've got a little tiny bit of a delay with the live broadcast, so we're just waiting for that to come through. Quite interesting that we were talking about names and not getting attached to names, right? So I feel like I want to say you're on the right track with Rianne for some reason.
Okay.
So you're watching us do some live mediumship reads, guys. Rianne says yes. I was very close. Okay, so she's saying yes, they were very close, and that's the connection you're picking up.
Okay then. Also, okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Also,
so,
I know that with the gentleman as well, he keeps putting into my mind 1994 right across the face of me. So I don't know why this year would be important, but would she understand 1994 to be an important year? It might be the birth of someone or a passing of someone, but I know that this gentleman puts this year in front of me. So I need that connection to 1994.
Okay, Renee's come back and she said, I'm checking the Stephen thing with my friend. Does he have a link with it? Not sure, Renee. We're not. We're letting the spirit world come through, and this is a really important point for everybody. And often when I'm doing a mediumship sitting, particularly for platform, I make a little bit of fun out of it because that's part of my nature. And I'll often say to people, look, you have to be able to take every piece of information that we're bringing through, and that there's no body snatching going on, right? You can't snatch a spirit person. Yeah. So if they'll belong to one person in particular, so we can't make it fit. All right. So that's really important, guys. If there is something that does resonate for you, then please take it as acknowledgement that your loved one is more than likely around as well, but there's someone in particular who needs the message more. Okay, so really important not to hold on. I'm not getting the 1994 connection, Rianne says. Sorry.
Okay. You can just hold on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that will come back with her. Or she'll find out about that.
I think so too.
He's strongly putting that in my mind. All right.
Yep.
So let's not worry too much about that at the minute. I know he's talking about someone suffering with anxiety at the moment, and I feel like I'm a lot of anxiety around something going on at the minute. And I know that he's talking about a female, so I don't know if he's talking about Leanne at the minute, but I feel like I'm overwhelmed with anxiety, and my confidence is been knocked. And also I feel like on a relationship level as well, he's showing to me that it's not always been an easy ride. I feel like it's for Rianne, but it may be for someone else that's connected close with her.
I feel like it is for Rianne as well. And let me just acknowledge for everybody else on the live call, Rianne is actually a relative of mine.
Okay.
So it's really interesting that that's what's come through. So Rianne's my second cousin.
Ah.
Yeah. So I know a little bit about things that are going on for her, and I don't read for family generally because I know too much. So it's really, really powerful that Michael's on tonight to be able to bring that connection through. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for Rianne. If you can acknowledge the last part of that information, if that fits for you, that would be fantastic. Kylie, I think I might be being greedy, but how about okay. Kylie, we're only going to do one each. It's just two spirits bringing through. So I am just going to acknowledge that I brought your son through for you. And this episode of Barefoot TV and podcast show was really about talking about mediumship, but Spirit wanted Michael and I to do a couple of connections while we're on live. So Rianne says, thank you, Leanne, but I have had a tough time with his brother. Okay, so I'm going to take that as a yes to the anxiety side, Michael, for you. Okay, and the relationship side.
You know, I don't want to, obviously, I just want to get going quickly and then wrap it up. And
yes, she's acknowledging the anxiety.
Yeah, with the gentleman in the spirit world, with the motorbike, he's like, I feel like he could have been a little bit fiery at times, because when I'm talking about the anxiety and stuff going on, he's going to me like that. So I feel like, I'm not saying, you know, violence, but I feel like he's sort of like saying, if I was there, like, you know, and this and that. Also, I know that I don't know whether it's to do with the anxiety or not, but he keeps showing me to something later on towards the end of this month. Like I'm waiting for news or for something, but I know like he's fast forwarded my mind towards the end of April as well. So I know that she must be not anxious as in saying bad to come, but whether it's going to be like an opportunity or not. I feel like I'm getting my heart set on something, and please let it be my time, sort of thing. That's what he's showing me. That's what he's showing me. So I don't know if she can understand that, but he's also going like that. So I know that he feels like he's not happy with a gentleman. Also, does she know about a cross? Someone's got a cross as well. May have been from him, but he keeps dangling me like a cross on a chain. So I'm not too sure what that represents either. But
yeah,
it's difficult. It's difficult for me online to.
Yeah. You did amazing.
It's difficult. I like to be there, and
yeah. So we're Spirit's pushing and stretching Michael in amongst
right.
A show about mediumship, which is great. So thank you guys, and I want to acknowledge that you know, Kylie, your son sends his love and he's fine, and for Rianne, Michael's brought that information through for you, and if you want to connect with Michael afterwards, please feel free to message, and details are coming up
She's more than welcome to message me, and I'll finish off the reading with her. That's absolutely fine.
Okay, perfect. There's your beautiful confirmation, Michael. Rianne's just said his other brother's anniversary of his death today.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've just got massive goosebumps on that, Rianne, and just a beautiful confirmation for you that they're around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about, and thank you guys for playing along. I want to talk about quickly life and positivity in amongst things. So can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah.
How do we stay positive with what's going on in the world at the moment, right?
Well, what we do know is that the world can't stand still.
Yeah.
So everything has to move. Nothing can stay. It has to pass. So, you know, you've always got to try and keep that in your mind, that it shall pass.
Yeah.
And it is a very anxious time at the minute. And you know, I know a lot of people that have passed from the coronavirus, especially back in the UK. I know a few mediums that have passed from it recently.
Right.
And it is quite a scary time. But you've got to understand that it's out of your control.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it apart from follow the guidelines and keep sending out healing and stuff like that. Now, to regards with mediumship,
yeah,
I was trying to be the best medium I could be and be confident and positive in my mediumship, and then forgetting about my life. So I wasn't confident in my everyday life, but I thought I'd be confident in my mediumship. I wasn't positive in my life, but thought I'd be positive in my mediumship, and then wondering why nothing's really working. So then what I did is I took some time out to work on myself, which was fantastic because I didn't love myself. I had low self-esteem. I didn't feel like I fitted in. But then I put on this mask with my mediumship, and I was living like a lie, like two different people. So, you know, not going off on a tangent, this is also why I like to teach. When I'm with my students, I say, how are you in your life? How do you feel? And some people are confident, but then you'll get others in the class that say, do you know what? I don't feel like I fit in. I've got low self-esteem. Yeah. And I say, right, well, do me a favor. Write me down your life story, right? We'll go through that. We'll work out why. And then we'll work on that as well as your mediumship, because you can't just work on your mediumship.
Yeah. And
I try and help people in that way as well, because I've got so much experience from it.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone through, you know, and I'm not ashamed to say I've gone through drug and drink addictions.
Yeah.
Because I was suffering inside and I needed that escape. You know, so I've got loads of knowledge around loads of different stuff. And so it's important for me to then share that and to help people build themselves up as well as their mediumship, hand in hand. And you know, it's great. A lot of people don't do that. And I think it's important to give your all to the show.
And I so agree that, you know, and for everyone listening or watching to this episode, you have to work on your personal life as well as, and your personal development, as well as your mediumship. Absolutely agree. And if you're going to a medium, ask them, what do they do for their personal development? How do they work on themselves? Because it's not just about what they do with their mediumship. They can be an amazing medium. Yeah. What it is are they growing and expanding personally as well as connecting to the spirit world? And you're right, with my coaching clients or my students, you know, we talk about whatever limiting beliefs or fears or blockages or resistance you have in your personal life will be reflected in your mediumship. Yeah. Right. Like I said about names. I'm not great with names in the physical world, so I'm not great with names in spirit, right? You know, And if there's something about feeling like you're not being heard, and I know some of my students have gone through that pattern, if you
Yeah.
feel like you're not being heard, then you're going to feel like spirit's not hearing you, right? And you're not getting that information clearly.
Yeah.
So there is, or relationships, right? And this is for everybody. You know, if you have difficulty communicating or creating boundaries in your relationships and going, this is what I'm comfortable with and this is not, then you're going to have difficulties with your spiritual connections as well. Whether you're a healer, a psychic, a medium, or whatever, however it is you work with energy, you have to work on yourself.
And also it's important as well that you know that you're not just trying to build your life up as well to become a good medium.
Yeah.
Being happy within in your life, that's the most important thing. The most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to be a medium, then that will always be there. That will wait for you.
Yeah.
So, you know, another thing, I got frustrated a lot of times. I would go to, say the college, or I'd go to do a course, and it would basically go there, right, you sit with that person, you give them a reading, and then all this and all that, and I wanted that bit more. I wanted to feel that someone actually cared for me and give me that personal attention as well. And that's what I think is so important to when you have a group of students, I like to give them, you know, like my WhatsApp number, and give them that little bit of time in between courses, and help them grow. And listen, you just got to reach out to people.
Yeah.
And
it's real. I think it's really important at the moment. And I know we're bringing things back to mediumship and all of that, but I want to bring it back to life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, you know, as a medium, as both of us as mediums, we have to be in balance in our physical lives in order to be that clear channel for spirit to come through. And so life, we're here to have a physical life. We're here to have that experience as well as connect to the spirit world. It happens to be, for you and I, it happens to be our job to connect to the spirit world, and we happen to teach other people how to step into that work. Here's the thing. I love just seeing people evolve, expand, and grow in themselves. And, you know, seeing someone go, oh, so I am worthy of being able to connect and communicate to spirit. Oh, so it's that easy. You know, one of my coaching clients is really talkative. And I said to her, you don't have to be quiet, use that. And it was funny with her mediumship, she'd stop talking and she'd stop asking questions. And I'm going, what's going on? You got to talk to them, right? You got to ask them questions. It's another conversation. And I said to her, be your normal self, be talkative, be inquisitive, don't stop talking.
Exactly. That's her character. Use it.
And when she stops talking, she goes into that headspace and overthinks it and analyzes it, right? Exactly. So, you know, if that's one of your patterns in the physical world, that's going to be your pattern with spirit, right?
Exactly, yeah. So that's exactly it. How you put it, you know, use it to your advantage.
Yeah. And I'm getting aware of time, because you and I could sit here and have this conversation and share with all of you.
I'm sure we will do another one, because there's loads more we can talk.
Oh my God, yes, totally. And everyone watching, please feel free to comment to let us know if there's another topic you'd like us to talk about. What I'd like to do is just kind of finish off with a more general comment, if we can, about life at the moment and bringing that, you know, positive view in with what's going on for people at the moment. Can you share a bit of a message for everyone with that?
Do you know what? When you talked about positivity earlier, it was a little bit I just forgot and all. Another thing that I constantly taught myself, and again, it takes practice and persistence. When a negative thought comes in, I look at it as a lie now. Yeah, I get them all through the day, but I just acknowledge it as a lie and I'll move it on. I move it on with a positive thought. And that isn't easy. But if you practice, you can do it.
Absolutely.
You know, because I was so negative. And so, you know, I took a couple of years out to really work on myself. And this is one of the things that I constantly done. And even you can get the ump of it sometimes. And you can feed into the negativity. Mm. But, you know, you just got it's all about, you've got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Nothing comes magically.
No.
You know, I have people messaging me, oh, I love your post you put up on Facebook. You know, how do you get this positive? Or I'm in a bad relationship in a minute. Why are you in a bad relationship?
Yeah.
Come away from it and learn to like yourself. Then you'll probably find you won't be back in a bad relationship ever again. But people don't want to put in the work.
And that's where it sits, isn't it? It takes work, and it takes
there is no shortcut.
It takes a conscious choice.
It's such a simple solution, but vigorous action.
Yeah. And it's funny because a lot of my clients, and I talk about black ducks and happy ducks, right? And so I talk about black ducks being this real heavy story that we're telling ourselves, that negative story about I can't do this won't work, I'm never going to have, this always happens, it's always a problem, whatever. It's all a lie. And it's actually the story that you're putting out in front of yourself, and then you make it true, right?
True.
Yeah. And so I often say to my clients, think about the fact that you're putting this black duck out in front of you and you're going to make him true. And you're creating this story that goes, oh, that's always going to happen. That's always going to go wrong. There's always going to be this problem, right? And I say to them, come back and stop and pause and just recognize and acknowledge it, and then go duck hunting. Go find it. Exactly. Find the lie. Find the story that you're putting out in front of you and making true. Clear it by acknowledging it, forgiving yourself and letting it go. And then you can start telling your happy story. So bring in the happy duck, right? Yeah. And go, here's the story I want to create for myself now.
And I understand it's not easy for a lot of people.
No.
It's not easy. And there's probably people sitting in there saying, well, it's easier said than done. And I understand it because I've been through all that. But just keep nibbling away at it.
Yeah.
Because it will, bit by bit, just keep nibbling away. And that's how you get there.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere.
And reach out and get some support if you need it 100%. From people like Michael or myself.
Yeah, I support a lot of people. I have random people inboxing me and I'll just give them all the support I can. I always say on my posts, you know, if anyone's out there struggling, message me. I'll get back to that. If I can help you, I will.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Because I love to help people.
Yeah.
I know, you know,
I am so going to have to wrap up because I am mindful of the time. So I am going to say thank you so much for coming online with me. Thank you all who have connected in with us live tonight. Michael, can you share your Facebook page or your website or details where people can connect with you if they'd like to?
Yeah, 1 second now. Just bear with me. I'm not very, as Leanne will tell you.
I can pop his details up in the post underneath for anyone who's interested. So let's do that.
Michael Ivers. on Facebook. You can pop it up. Yeah,
I'll pop it up for you.
So if anyone has any questions, they can message me. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you all so much for connecting in. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Barefoot TV and podcast show. Yeah. If you're interested in connecting with me further, jump on my website, thebarefootmedium.com.au. I'm Leanne, the Barefoot Medium. It's been a pleasure having you join me and to provide you with wisdom for the journey, clarity on your path, and support to manifest your dreams. Wherever you are, I wish you a magical, loving, and joyful month, wherever you are, whoever you're with, and whatever it is that you're doing. I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode of Barefoot TV. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.